What is going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. And in this show, we are talking the 2020 Sanderson Farms Championships DFS picks and fades. Also, later this week, we're going to be dropping our sleeper video, which will be out shortly. We will be doing daily showdown videos throughout the week. And we have a full DFS breakdown on our Twitch channel Wednesday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. So please put that in your calendars. And then we're also going to be on Twitch for our Friday cut show. Craig, we have a big week ahead of us. Anything I missed there? What?
Well,
What do you think?
I don't know if people need to put it in their calendars just because, they could probably just follow us on Twitter or somewhere else, and
Yeah.
then I don't know if they're pinning it up on their wall and writing it on there, but you never know. You never know.
If they have a calendar, hey, they can do that.
They can.
9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Okay, so we're just coming off the Corales Puntacana, and I think in that video we said don't take this week off. And guess what? I didn't take that week off, and I had, I think, one of my best GPP performances I've ever had. I mean, I was up in the top 5 in the GPP I was playing for most of the week, and it was mostly from guys from the show. So I ended up 51st of 3,000 or 35,000 entries. About
It's not bad. It's not bad.
0.1%. But
I'm a little bit disappointed because I had a wedding this weekend, so I was for the most part taking it off. I
Yeah.
plugged in a few lineups, but nothing close to my usual volume, which a full player pool probably would have done pretty well.
Yeah. No, it definitely would have with our picks and our sleepers. So I ended up 51st. A lot of the time on Sunday, I was flirting with top 10. I think I went up to third at some point, but eventually Adam Long kind of fell off, and that hurt me quite a bit. But from our pick show, we had Pat Perez and Seb Straka that we mentioned. And then from our sleepers, I mentioned Tyler McCumber, who had a great tournament, and Justin Suh, who I think I was pronouncing wrong as Sue, but it's
Yeah,
Justin
no, I
Suh.
was as well, but
Yeah.
once I heard it on the broadcast this week, I'd never heard it before. I'd only read about him, so
So that's all from our videos. And yeah, I hope other people did really well as well. And let us know if you did, because I definitely want to hear that. We definitely want to hear that.
yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're into the Sanderson Farms. We are in the Country Club of Jackson in Jackson, Mississippi. Par 2, 74,061 yards. We have Bermuda grass, which everyone likes to talk about. Tricky and fast greens. I got reports that they are up to 13.5 on the snip meter. So that is fast, fast, fast. In terms of course comparisons, Craig, I don't know if you found this with the DFS model we have, but pretty close to Corales Puntacana. I mean, long hitters will have an advantage here. And for Sanderson Farm, it is the second year it's a full PGA status event. So what does that mean? You get full FedEx Cup points, you get Masters invite in the spring. So it is kind of full field. It's not opposite field like it has been in the past. It's a full tournament here with a few big names.
Yeah, and really what that means is that you get better players going to it because
Yeah,
the larger purse, the more points, all of those things are what attracts people as they're choosing what tournaments they want to play.
for
Um,
sure.
so not a ton of history at the Jackson Country Club. It some years, so we saw in 2017 and 2019, the course heavily favored off the tee players, people who are gaining strokes off the tee.
So Cameron Champ was 2019, I believe.
I don't know. They're just data
I
points
think.
to me. No, I'm just kidding. Champ did have a win here, and I would have to look back at it to see who the other
Yeah.
one was. But over I think we went back to 2015 maybe, in coming up with course fit, and
Hmm.
it was fairly well balanced between off the tee approach and around the green.
Hmm.
But it really was as we got these stronger fields, it looked like around the green was less relevant, and you got better ball strikers in, and they seemed to be the ones doing better.
Yeah.
So, as per usual, we're looking at ball strikers, and then hoping that they get a hot putter this week.
Yeah, so I think that's actually interesting because I've seen a lot of people, I think, look for hot putters or people that are putting well in the last few tournaments. But we've kind of talked offline that sometimes when the greens are faster, it's actually narrow, like it's easier for the putters that are worse because you're just actually trying to leg it up there and get it close.
You're putting a lot more
Yeah,
defensively, whereas on slower
yeah,
greens, they can really try to make more putts.
yeah.
But ultimately, I think ball strikers the better ball strikers, it's rare that the better ball strikers don't have, fit better for a course and have better predictive stats, just because putting's so variable from week to week and from day to day even.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into my picks. So the first one is Sungae Im. He lost last year to a playoff to Sebastian Munoz. He kind of had a slow restart after the COVID break, but as of late, he's been playing really strong. He's kind of more kind of himself, rookie of the year type play.
Yeah, I'm just really impressed that you got the accents right on Sebastian Munoz. That's attention to detail right there.
I mean, it might have been a copy paste, but hey, I did that extra effort. So Sungae, everyone knows him. He's my pick to win. He's my one and done pick. I think he fits really well for the course. He's playing really well right now. Kind of check, move on. I really like him this week.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I haven't built my full player pool yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's in it. It is, it's seeing Sanjay up at that price. It's expensive, but I mean, there's a reason why. Just with the field we have, he's definitely one of the top 5 players.
Yeah, and I mean, in these weaker fields, we see these guys that kind of get a little bit price boost. Louis Oosthuizen is gone, but we have Scottie Scheffler up there, Sungae Im, Benny Ann, there's someone else I'm forgetting, but it's not the typical prices you'll see for these guys. But I feel like Sungae Im is kind of a little bit, he's a tier up from those guys. So
Yeah, and I mean, he really was struggling there for a while, but then he has looked better. So it'll be interesting to see whether that is a return to form. He kind of got out of his slump, or if, it'll just be interesting to watch in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. So my next pick here, they're both kind of mid-range picks. Patrick Rodgers, 8,200 on DraftKings, 9,400 on FanDuel. I had him last week. He did well enough for me. I'm going to go back to the well here. Very strong putter. He's a long hitter. I mean, kind of maybe his irons are his weak point. So I think hopefully if he's trending in the right position, he can do well. Has played the event before and finished 22nd in 2018. So something that kind of I like to see, but I think his profile just kind of fits Sanderson nicely here.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not I'll end up with Rodgers in my pool. In large part, what I'm looking at, I don't know if I'm going to have as many guys around that price point, just because I want to get at quite a few of the more expensive guys, and so I think I'll have to go down further in pricing. And I think I also might like the next guy you have better. So.
Yeah, so I mean, he's one of my favorites, Cameron Davis. I just feel like he also scores really well on DFS sites because he makes a lot of birdies, and I mean, he gets those eagle opportunities. 8,100 on DraftKings, 9,400 on FanDuel. He bombs it. He's a long hitter, and he converts a lot of them. He's top 20, both 2020 and 21 in birdie or better percentage, which is something that I think is really important here at Sanderson Farms. Comes in riding a 5-tournament straight cut made. And not just that, but they're all 36th or better. So he's not just making a cut and then falling off to 65th, falling off to 70th. I mean, he's making cuts and he's kind of around the weekend. He hasn't, I don't know if he's had a top 10 in that time range, but he's right in the pack there. And then
he also, in some of those tournaments with stronger fields too, he could have easily been in top 10, but then fell off a bit on the weekend. But, I think he's someone who's on the ascent.
Yeah, I think a win is coming. 28th here. It's Sanderson Farms last year. I really like Cameron Davis this week. I think a few people will, but I don't know. I just really like his profile here.
I'm not sure if I'd go as far as saying a win is coming, but I definitely think top 10. I think that he is someone who, I can pull up what he has done of recent, but I think he is someone who we're going to see in the top 10 sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So this is our DFS model on our website, grandstandgolf.com, and this is the DraftKings one. And yeah,
I mean, you see 15th and 12th, but yeah, he's definitely turned things around, and you were on him very quickly after he had turned things around. Yeah. So yeah, I like Cam Davis a lot, and that's part of the reason that I don't know if I will get Rodgers into my lineups, just because you can only have so many guys at different price points.
Fair enough.
So jumping into my picks, and this is, in part, when I say I'm going to be going with more expensive guys, I think that I really like a lot of these guys, both, at well, obviously I like the most expensive guy in Scottie Scheffler. So obviously Scottie is coming off the COVID positive tests that caused
Yeah.
him to miss the U.S. Open.
Which was devastating. I think we were all excited to see him at Wingfoot, so that was devastating.
Yeah, and I mean, but he was just playing so hot going into
Yeah.
that, and so
Yeah.
I mean, it's devastating for so many reasons, and golf is the least
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
hopefully I mean, I'm assuming he is fine, but hopefully there aren't any, lingering effects.
Mhm.
But regardless, last six tournaments tied for 22 or better,
That's
and that
remarkable.
includes
Yeah.
really high finishes. I think three of those are top five.
Yeah.
In those last six tournaments are also absurd fields. So yeah, a second at the Tour Championship, and again, this is based on the just purely the strokes at that tournament, not
Right.
the
Right.
the
Right.
handicap strokes going in.
Yeah.
But then a tied for fourth at PGA and a tied for fourth at Northern Trust.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at these last six tournaments, it's the Memorial, FedEx St. Jude, PGA Championship, and then playoff events. So like these are very
Crazy.
strong
Yeah.
fields, and in a lot
Not
of
that the
other
Puntacana isn't as tough of tests, but maybe these are a little bit higher.
yeah, if he's playing as well as he played in those fields this week, then he's going to win the tournament
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So I like Scottie Scheffler. I think he might be a bit chalky. So, but what I will plan to do, or what I will hope to do, is just make sure I'm differentiating elsewhere. And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't know, what kind of percentage ownership I'll have of him, but I just haven't made my lineups yet.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50%, something like
Yeah.
that. It'll just
Yeah.
depend on other guys I want to get in and whatnot.
For sure. I
But
like
yeah,
it.
so in the field, I mean, he's for with his 2019 2020 stats, his total strokes gained, he's plus 1.08. The next closest I want to say is either Tringale or Sungae, and they're
Hmm.
like a good third of a stroke behind him. So
Wow.
that's a healthy margin.
Yeah.
Also number one in birdies of people in this field. So he's not only is he just generally his scoring average is better, but he's also making a lot of the low scores that you want to do well in. Even if he doesn't get the win, but one of your other guys wins, he's going to be
Yeah.
doing a good job putting up points.
DFS
Um,
points.
and finally, a decent course history. I don't put too much weight on course history, but
Hmm.
if you see it, to me, it's just like a little bit of a plus. I'm not gonna
It's just a bonus.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going to eliminate a guy if he doesn't have a good course history, but it does give
Hmm.
you one more reassurance that for whatever reason they like the feel of the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so both Emiliano Grillo and Sergio Garcia almost fit into the same bucket for me here, just because
Because
they're so
they
similar.
can't putt and
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically you can see over my shoulder here, I've got fool me once, shame on well, all I'm saying is you can't fool me twice. But both of these guys, the model loves them because of how good they are at ball striking.
Yeah.
So starting with Grillo, 8,800 on DraftKings, 9,900 on FanDuel. He's a plus ball striker. He's made 6 straight cuts. And the last time he had a positive strokes gained putt in, he ended up tied for third. So he's one of these guys. He's going to be his ball striking will keep him relevant, and if he can have a neutral putting week, then
Right.
it's good things.
Yeah.
Sergio is in even a it's hard to say this because Grillo is usually so bad at putting, but Sergio's probably even in a worse place. He's
Yeah.
8,600 DraftKings, 9,300 FanDuel. His ball striking numbers are awesome. He in the field he's eighth in strokes gained total,
Yeah.
first tee to green, first off the tee, and these are the 2019-2020 numbers.
Right. Right.
And he's
Right. Right.
priced 19th. So Sergio has never, I looked back through 3 or 4 years. He's never been a good putter, but he
Yeah.
has his 2020 putting stats are an aberration, even much lower than normal. So even
Yeah.
if he gets back to his usual not putting well, then he's going to get better finishes. And so it's just one of these ones where I'm essentially I'm going to have some exposure to him, And what I want is to, when he's low owned before he does turn the corner again, and he is back to his regular putting, I want to be in there because his ball striking gives such an advantage once he does get his putting back.
I actually think you've convinced me on Sergio there. He's burned me so much in the past 6 months, but I don't know. I think that you could have a narrative that he likes faster greens, so maybe there's something there. I also really like that FanDuel number at 9,300. I think that seems a little bit too low. I mean, comparing both DFS sites there.
Yeah, and it's one of these things where there's a very good chance that it doesn't work out, but if it does work out, you know, if you're playing big GPPs, then those are the type of things you need to take chances to try to win the whole tournament. So,
and if it works out at 6%, 8% ownership compared to a 30% ownership, that's a huge difference in terms of
how it sets you up. Yeah. So just quickly summarizing and then highlighting guys that we potentially want to fade.
Yeah.
I've got Scottie Scheffler at 11,400, Grillo at 8,800, and Sergio Garcia at 8,600.
And you're fading Zach Johnson in there. So you're going the whole anti-putting.
So I'm fading Zach Johnson, and this is in part just because so Zach Johnson had some really good results. Obviously, he was in there at the U.S. Open. I think Zach Johnson is one of these guys that plays harder courses better. He did have he had a top 10 at the Wyndham that got him into the playoffs in the first place.
Right.
But I just, you know, for his price, it's one of these ones where you sort of just have to choose someone to fade. And there's other people in this area that I would rather play. So ultimately, he's not going to be in my lineups. And so, yeah.
I mean, our fades they're always going to be expensive guys. We're not going to fade somebody at 7,200. We're not, I mean,
there's no point in doing so.
Yeah, there's no point. So, yeah, I think you have to find kind of that narrative. And I don't know if I'm going to completely fade him, but hey. That's your call.
It's just he's not going to be in my player pool, and I know that much right now. So
fair ugh. So my picks are Sungae Im at 10,500, Patrick Rodgers at 8,200, and Cameron Davis at 8,100. And my fade is Benny Ann, so I'm going kind of the opposite. He is the ball striker anti-putter that I think looks okay, but I just think I don't know.
It's a price thing too.
It's a price thing. He's like above 10,000 for him. It just kind of seems a little off. I'm just not gonna get there. I can't exactly give an exact reason why. I mean, the putting stats are one indicator, but I just won't pay that much when Sungae Im's just a little bit there, and I like so many other guys right below him.
Yeah, no, I considered it as well, having him as my fade, just because again, I like people around him better than I like him. So I don't think it's not that I think he has no chance. It's just that he's priced as a top 4 or 5. Yeah, he's priced 5th in the field.
And Oosthuizen dropped out, so
4th in the field. And I mean, obviously, I'm going to take Will Zalatoris over him too. So
your boy,
my boy. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching our video. Like our picks, disagree with them, have any other questions or comments, please leave those below and we'll get to them. Make sure to watch out for our upcoming videos and streams. We're doing a Twitch stream on Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Also, we're doing a Cut Sweat show on Friday, and we'll drop that time in our Twitter. To us on Twitter, at Grandstand Golf. And we have a link below to join our Discord chat. We will be chatting there all tournament, so please join us there. Thank you all for your continued support. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Share it with your friends. Share it with your golf fans in your life. And click the bell to catch our upcoming videos. Thanks,
See you guys next time. Thanks a lot.